Let's go. It's Thursday night, boys.
Dude, yeah, it is Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday is what it is. And yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing on the daily here, especially for grabbing the brisket. We're not alcoholics. Sure about saying that.
Yeah.
We're not alcoholics.
Yeah, from the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, let's just go ahead and address the.
We're not alcoholics.
The gorilla in the room.
Yeah, we had some hate mail sent to us.
Not you.
Yeah, John, can you cue that up and just go ahead and play that little sound bite?
I should have sent that. That was hilarious.
We had some hate mail sent to us from the guys in the middle. They're great guys.
From the middle.
Yes. From the middle. Great guys. But they threw out a little shade. You know, they threw out like, listen, who doesn't like to have fun? That's what we're talking about. Who doesn't like to have fun? And listen, we like to have fun from the middle. Okay. Maybe sometimes it does have a 8% blue moon extra sitting in the wings.
We're fun in the middle.
Yeah. Maybe that's what our fun is. We're not going to work. And well, I mean, sometimes we go to work and have a few beers, but we're not doing that on the regular. You know what I mean? Like we don't always drink on Saturdays.
Did you drink at work today?
Yeah, I had a couple of drinks at work today. But what I'm saying is we don't always drink on Saturdays. But last Saturday we did drink.
Yeah.
Well, we may just have to have them back on just to get a little bit of clarification what they exactly meant
water.
there, because functioning, I got functioning alcoholic out of the thing, and I really couldn't tell if it was a dig towards us or if it was a dig towards every just red-blooded American that fires up a grill and has a beer to relieve not relieve stress, because the barbecue does that, but it's just a
you're thirsty. It's hot.
It's thirsty. You're rehydrating. You know, we're not getting drunk or anything like that. I mean, from the middle, but hey, we appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. And John, I mean, fantastic job on that podcast episode that you did with them. Everybody go check out From the Middle.
Yeah, they're great
Just
guys.
Don't check out that little tidbit where they called us alcoholics.
Yeah, they're great guys. That's
great
cool.
guys. So we got a fun, very cool interview coming up here in maybe about 30 minutes here. We got Steven Raichlen, the barbecue legend. This guy's a TV host, James Beard award-winning,
best-selling author. Yep.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
I'm super excited to see what to see what we can get into with Steve.
Yeah, listen, and I'm hoping Steve brings his A game, because you know he's been on TV and he's obviously a great barbecue legend, but is he going to be a grab him and the brisket legend? And only time will tell. Only time will tell. Steve.
Steve, does he go by Steve or is it Steven?
Me and Steve go way back. We get to do what we want, you know.
Josh Bonfiglio in the house. What's going on? Johnny Meggs, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Our boys.
We are excited about tonight. Like you said, we got a huge guest. This is a big one. We get a lot of big ones. This is another big one.
Well, so James and I were talking about that, and to get Steven Raichlen to say yes, and I'm not sure if he says yes to a lot of podcasts or not, but for us, we're talking back and forth, and James made the comment, was like, I don't know if like he got duped or if like maybe his publicist was like, hey, go on this podcast or what. We're thankful that he said yes. I just don't know. I feel like he is so out of our league a little bit. So who knows? I hope it's great though.
Yeah, can we talk a little bit about so this has been floating around the internet this past week, but the whole, and I think it's a resurfaced Reddit post that happened like a couple of years ago, but looks like somebody threw an X post out or some post on social media that brought up the whole debate of one gorilla versus 100 men. Have you been seeing this all over your social media?
Yeah, my son asked me this yesterday.
Everywhere. What did he say?
He said, hey, because they say that one gorilla can take out 100 men. He goes, bullshit. And I'm like, dude, I said, I don't know, man. Like a gorilla, dude. Like, he's like, yeah, you listen, what you do is you send 20 in, they're getting sacrificed. Then you send 20 more in. Then you send 20 more in. He goes, you do this till you wear him down, and then you just own him. Because they're not built for stamina. They don't have that stamina. Dad, we'll kill it. And I go, look, I'm just saying.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. But I'm like, are you going to be one of the first 20 going in?
Yeah, do you see the videos
Yeah,
where it was like
so.
the gorilla draft? And this guy's sitting, he opens it up, and he's number one. He's like, no. He drops to his knees.
Right.
No, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I saw the one the guy says, I don't know about a gorilla, but I could definitely beat off 100 men.
That's gay. That's
I
hilarious.
was like, wait, what?
So that's fun. That's floating around. Also, I sent a message to John. I see Pringles is rolling out Miller Lite styled flavored Pringles. Have you seen this?
I did not see
They
this.
got several different flavors, and maybe we're all gonna to look this up. But there's several different flavors. I think there's a beer brat style, and there was some. I guess Pringles sent this guy, this influencer. I don't know why they didn't send us this, but so he got to try all three different flavors. Now maybe this is floating around Kroger's or freaking Costco or something like that. I'm not really sure where you go purchase it. I didn't get that deep into it, and except for just sending John a message like, dude, we got to get some of this. But yeah, one of them was like the beer
available at Walmart.
There it is.
Oh, geez.
All right, we're gonna have to give that a go.
All right. Coming soon.
Everything's just beer flavored. Like it's now it's just gonna be beer flavored. What would be the weirdest beer flavored snack or item?
Ice cream.
Right.
It's got to be ice cream.
Well, dude, I don't know about that. I mean, it might be good, dude.
A beer float. I mean, you might be able to get away with like a Shiner Bock beer float.
Yeah.
They make. Do you see the guys? I sent you the video, James. These guys, they're playing a prank on their buddy, and I think they're in, I don't know, New Zealand or Australia or whatever it is, but their house is built where they've got the you can the crawl space below the house you can crawl into. And so they crawl in and they undo all of his piping for his whole house, and they hook up kegs.
Oh, I think I did.
Yeah,
see this.
hook up kegs over the whole thing. And then the guy comes home with his wife, and she goes to do something, but it starts getting a little foamy, and all of a sudden it's just beer. And he starts smelling it, and he's like, "Wait a minute!" And then he goes into the bathroom. He's like, "It's beer, I think." Right? And then at some point, he's like tasting it, and then he makes a glass full of it, and then he starts drinking it. And he's like, "It's really good." And then he goes outside to figure out what's going on. He's looking under the cabinets, doesn't know why there's beer coming out. So he goes crawling into the crawl space, and he sees all these kegs sitting out there. And then all of his buddies show up and was like, what's up? So
that's amazing.
I'm like, dude, can y'all come to my house and make my house do the whole beer shower thing and the beer? Like, let's go, man.
Yeah, do that.
There it is. Picture of it.
Oh, yep. There's your beer Pringles.
Oh, it looks like beer can chicken. There's the brats, and I don't know.
Is that a steak?
I don't know what the other one is.
Hard to tell. Looks like a steak.
Yeah. Do you think the actual the guy that actually makes he's just actually drinking a Miller Lite while he just makes the chips? It's just like normal, probably barbecue flavored Pringles. You know what I mean? They're just putting like Miller Lite label on it.
Maybe it's it's not gonna be a beer flavor. It's gonna be like you soak your meat in beer, tenderize it or whatever else.
Just I wish they would invest a little technology so when you pop the top of the Pringle can, it just goes
right.
That would be cool.
Like a beer?
Yeah.
Exactly like a beer. Yeah.
But you only get one.
No, if they could figure out how to make it do that every time you opened it. I don't know.
You're reminding me about your beer story overseas, and they get it right every once in a while outside of America. A few kudos to those people because very in there's a word I'm thinking of, but I can't get it. But I did see it's overseas. I'm not really sure where it's at. It's probably the UK area, whatever. But there's a place where you can go. It's like a bathhouse to where you just take baths and beer, and it's just out of the taps. It's just you just turn on the faucet and it's just pouring out, and you're just sitting in the bathtub as it flows out.
Is it cold?
I don't know. It's probably that weird stuff where they keep the beer in the cellar and they don't actually have refrigeration.
Cold, cold-ish.
Yeah.
Coldish.
Yeah.
So where this
colder than the bath or shower you'd be taking. Yeah.
That's one thing that we kind of maybe disagree with a lot of people. And I like my beer ice cold. They disagree with you. They say it has to be some beers has to be like, I don't know, 50 something degrees or something like that to really just get that nice I guess just opens it up a little bit. I'm not really sure. I did make beer one time. It was a Mr. Beer Kit. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
It was so fun to do that, but I totally screwed it up. But and I bottled it, and you got to wait like I think it's like 3 weeks to be able to sample it. And it was like That's like a you know, it was like Christmas every day. You know what I mean? I'm opening up the fridge and I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, dude, 3 weeks, I'm gonna have some nice little I think it was like a little amber Bach or whatever it was. I'm like, every day, oh, there it is, just fermenting. And then so I got to like the 3 week period is the weekend time. Like, dude, I'm getting into it. And so I cracked one open and there's no fizz. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? And I poured it out into a glass and it was very flat. And I'm like, no. I tasted it and I was like, well, it tastes all right. It doesn't taste bad. And then I see shit floating all around in it, you know, in the bottom or whatever. I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be happening. Like that looks like mold or I don't know, but it was legit. But when the beer warmed up, it got very carbonated.
Oh, maybe you weren't supposed to store it in the fridge.
Well, I guess you don't want to drink it cold. So
no, I want to drink it cold.
I threw it in the trash.
Yeah, as
Mr.
one
Beer.
would. Yeah. Hey, I cooked today. I cooked a giant. I don't even know what it was.
Did you video it?
I did. Ribeye roast.
There it is.
There it is. Yep. It was a tomahawk. Like prime rib roast. It's amazing. It was.
Yeah, you Frenched the bones there.
I did not do any of that. I got this from the Bay Area meat market out here in the Houston area. Go check them out. But yeah, it was. They did all that for me. They'll order whatever the hell you want and get it in there. But this was a super fun cook. I just did a little snake method on that ranch kettle. This looks like it's not that big, but that is not a regular size kettle. That is a 37-inch Weber ranch kettle, and that sucker damn near filled it up. So I did the snake method, threw a couple of chunks of the mesquite in there, and then when it got close, about 120, 122, took it off, let it rest for about 20 minutes. While I was doing that, I got the coals in the middle there, got them real freaking hot, and then once that internal temperature kind of stabilized a little bit, I seared it. Money. I think there was another shot that showed you can kind of see the inside of it there. Not a great shot because the lighting was awful, but it was delicious. Ate the shit out of it. Maddox damn near ate a whole tomahawk by himself. So
damn,
yeah, it was
Maddox.
Yeah, he was.
There it is. Did you go caveman style on that?
Oh, there's a video of me taking a big bite right out of it.
Okay.
Yep. Video coming soon. So it was fun.
While we talk about this, let's go talk about this beer review that we have coming up tonight.
What is it?
This is the
Grab 'em in the brisket.
Beer review. There it is. The Blue Moon Extra Belgian White. This is the 8% ABV for this Belgian. So for this Blue Moon, which is pretty amazing because I think typically these are probably in the 4s.
I think the regular one is like about a 5.5. And then you have they actually have a light as well, which has like I think it's like 95 calories or whatever. And then you get into like maybe the 4% range.
Okay.
And then I just happened to come across these extras. I'm like, I'm going to be honest right now. Like, I think maybe a lot of beer manufacturers should be making beer like this. Come up with a light version, a normal version, and an extra version. And just, depending on what your day was like, maybe you had another podcast talk a little shit about you and you want to drown your sorrows a little bit.
Right.
So you just grab for the extra.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, come home, your wife's like, hey, how was your day? He's like, my day was light, right? No big deal. And then you come home and you're like, I don't want to talk about it. She's like, hey, I got you. And she walks over and she goes, you're being extra.
So would it be Coors Light, Coors, and Coors Extra, or is it Coors Light Extra?
I think it'd be Coors Light, Coors, and Coors Light's gonna have to. I mean, Coors is gonna have to come up with like an extra. You know what I mean?
Okay, makes sense.
They don't call it that though.
The math is mathing.
I don't know. Let's taste this beer though.
We have done the Blue Moon review before, but never the extra. And again, I think James did this last time. He brought the damn orange wedges. I mean, if you're gonna have a Blue Moon, you gotta have the orange wedge. Yeah.
That's good, man. It's really good. Again, we have Steven Raichlen coming on tonight. Amazing guy who has made barbecue his passion, his life. He's been recognized. The Barbecue Bible. Just
probably the most bought barbecue cookbook of all time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's a phenomenal person. Great chef. And he has traveled all over the world making barbecue his life. So, it's just awesome.
Yeah. Hey, we got Grant Neal. He says, interesting fact. In Australia, we call it a light beer because it's low alcohol, 2-3%.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what we're talking about. If you call it light, then it needs to be light. right? If you're drinking a beer, it needs to be between 5% and 7%. That should be a regular beer. And if you're going to go over 7, then that is your
Extra.
I don't want to call it extra. I want to come up with a different name for that,
Heavy.
Yeah, this maybe it's your heavy. Maybe it's your heavyweight.
Yeah.
Anything
Thank you,
over
you're welcome, beer manufacturer.
maybe anything over 10% is your heavyweight.
Mhm,
You know?
mhm, mhm.
Like if you go boxing with it, right?
100%. Okay, we got about 14
like that,
minutes till
Grant.
Steven jumps on
Thank
here,
you.
and I feel like I have kind of a little bit to cover on the news
Yeah,
part. So,
Go ahead.
but before we do that, let's jump into this mail call we got. We did get a little selection of barbecue seasonings here, and this is from our boy Cookin Wid Kunchi. If you've been following, you've heard us talk about this man before. You've probably seen him on our show before because he's been here. 3 seasonings, new to us. I'm guessing new to him. Tropical Zinger, which is a zesty citrus blend. Jamaican Jerk, which is the authentic blend, and the Blaxican
Yep.
fajita seasoning.
Okay.
I love the name.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, but I like it, and I have not tried them yet. But I am going to try them. I didn't want to crack them open until y'all had a chance to at least see them.
I'm taking this one home.
Which one? The Blaxican.
The Blaxican.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So do with that with what you want. You want to come over? You can have some.
All right. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I think it's only right if I take it home.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn. You can't even roll your R's.
Yeah, you
What are
can't
talking
roll
about?
your R's.
Yeah. Hey, roll. How you roll your R's? I don't know. I said okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm rolling name only. That's what he said.
Yeah, it's not weird when I go to the meat market.
Yeah, right.
Start talking.
Yeah.
It's like, anyways, okay,
Yeah.
that's the mail call, Kunchi. We appreciate that. We're gonna try them out. We're gonna put some stuff out there using this stuff and let you know if it's awesome, which I'm sure it's great. Next up, we got the hot off the grill barbecue news. Brought to you by the BBQ Barbecue News magazine. The latest issue of the Barbecue News magazine is out. That's the May issue. Talking about the Barbecue News magazine or the new barbecue museum.
What did you say that really?
Yep.
Museum?
Yep. The
Museum.
The museum. And because it's National Barbecue Month, they are offering a free digital copy to anybody that wants to check out the Barbecue News magazine. Just head over to their website. I'll put a link down below for you if you're having trouble finding it. Also in this what do you call it? Magazine issue.
Barbecue news.
Yes, in this issue
issue?
of this magazine, there is the sauces of honor winners were announced. So that's in there too. I thought I printed out the winners. I did not. So you guys can go check it out and see what it is.
We'll just make some up.
Yeah, it's fine. No biggie. And then he did Cal sent over announcing that the Raylan, little Gringa.
Oh yeah.
Raylan Barker.
Yep.
She's going to be out there at the what is it called? The National Barbecue Festival. So she's going to be out there doing her thing. If you don't know who that is, she's a barbecue badass. And I don't know, she's like,
Just like a rising star. Yeah. Over
exactly.
80 top 10 finishes, major wins like the Houston Barbecue Junior Reserve Grand Champion, the American Royal World Burger Reserve Grand Champion, Master of the Flame. Kudos. I mean, she's going to get there and she's going to kick some ass. What is that coming up like? Maybe like a couple of months.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
I think June 13th through the 15th, I believe. At least that's what I think it says on the picture there. And then what else we got? Barbecue Brawl is about to be back up and fired off June 1st, starting 9 p.m. If you guys have watched that show before, we've had lots of folks from that show come on our show.
Mhm.
And there's the list of competitors is, I mean, there's some names in there you're probably going to recognize.
Yeah. And again, we did not get our invite to audition for this show. So I'm not really sure.
What show is this?
It's the Barbecue Brawl.
I did see Thyron Matthews is going to be there.
Very nice.
Greg Gallen.
Yeah. Is Bobby Flay, is he ducking our calls?
I think he is.
Okay, we're Bobby, give us a
Bama
call.
Grillmaster. He's gonna be on there too.
Oh, very nice.
And then what else we got here? We got we have a local cook-off. The Pickin' for Playtime Barbecue Rib Shootout, May 17th. Barbecue, live music, great cause, and it's gonna be at the Pearland Knights of Columbus. 50% payout because they are giving back to the Yellow Out campaign. So
Yeah.
there we go.
And I'm sure-
Yeah, that was my bad.
He's hyped up.
It's my fault.
Damn, bro.
I scared myself.
I saw him jump. He's like, holy shit.
He
I'm
almost
sure-
fell out of his chair.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever wins that is probably just going to donate it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
Unless
see
we
that.
win.
Yeah, we got bills to pay. Rollo needs his cut.
Yeah. Anyways, if you are in the Houston area or you're not and you want to come compete, and I think it's a pretty low entry fee. I think you said it's like $50 entry fee. So that's it's pretty badass, and it goes to a good cause. So check that out. We'll put a link down below if there's a website to be found. If there's not, just reach out to us and we'll get you the information. That's what I got for the hot off the grill barbecue news.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, really quick. We did cook about 25 briskets this past weekend.
It's going up every time we talk about it.
Yeah. It's like
Right.
like a what would you call them?
Jeez.
Not a legend, but what are those stories that just keeps getting embellished every time you say it?
Well, so when other people are supposed to say it, we can't just keep lying. And
Well, I'm just gonna keep saying
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Must have been 70 of them.
75. Yeah. Going uphill, downhill.
Hey, no, we did. Listen, we did do the briskets this weekend. It wasn't 15, it was 12 briskets, all for a great cause, which is us. So this is to help pay bills, help send us on trips when we want to go on trips and whatever else. And for you at home can also sponsor a poor podcast person by just ordering a brisket every once in a while. So we did 12. I almost said 15. They came out great. They came out really good. We brought out Johnny in June. Johnny did all the smoking. June just sat back and was just trying to look pretty. But man, the pit handled well. The fire was so easily maintained. We had no issues. At one point when we started, we were like, let's just get this thing hot. You know what I mean? Like there was a moment where like hot or hot. This at one point we're probably rolling 300. Just the initial takeoff, and then we smoothed right into about a 240, 250 smoke. Left it there, and really, I mean, I was worried about the brisket starting to curl up. Nothing. It's such a big pit chamber that it wasn't able to concentrate like it would in a smaller pit. And it exhausts so well. You know what I mean? So you've got really clean fuel, clean heat coming through. Never really fought it at all. I think that it's one hell of a cooker. So I would have loved to finish them off all on the pit. We had to deviate a little bit, but yeah, it just start early in the morning, get going. Johnny is a beast. Also, we did a Wagyu. How was that Wagyu brisket?
It was delicious. Yeah. So most of those briskets went to the local the donut shops to do the kolaches, but we did one for us, the little Snake River Farms. It wasn't that little, honestly. It was about a 22-pound brisket, but it came out amazing, delicious, really good flavor. We did, I think we did some Texas Old Dust, the Black Gold. We did some of the, what's it called? The grill your ass off. Their SPG, and yeah, some chicks that smoke on there.
Yeah.
And the flavor was perfect. Super tender, delicious, falling apart, just how I like it.
Damn. So did you make anything with that, or just you storing it? What are you doing?
I already ate it.
Ate all of it.
Yeah.
You don't want to share it.
One sitting.
Yeah. No,
Damn,
not in
John.
one sitting. We did go back. Actually, Denny made some. She saw online. You use like the puff pastry stuff, and then you put the puff pastry down.
Yeah.
Then you put down some cheese and some of the brisket. I think might have done some sauce or something. Then another layer of puff pastry on top.
Yep. It's a hard word.
Yeah. It was really good. The kids
Red
ate the
leather,
shit out
yellow
of it.
leather.
Yeah, it was good. It was like a giant Pop-Tart, giant meat Pop-Tart.
Damn, nice.
It was really good.
Hey, before we
Matt
get too
Messer
far,
jumped in there. Why can't he send pictures on here? Matt,
What
send
picture you got in mind?
send the picture to John.
yeah, send us a picture, man. We'll share it right now.
I think he already sent it to me. I'll
Did
see
he?
if I can find it here.
Okay. Hey, just before we get too far here, I just want to make sure that today's episode, like a lot of our episodes, are sponsored. Today's is sponsored by Chicks That Smoke Spicy Barbecue Seasoning, our favorite versatile seasoning that elevates any dish, from smoked meats to roasted veggies, even popcorn. Whether you're grilling, smoking, or cooking in the kitchen, Chicks That Smoke will kick up the flavor. Chicks That Smoke Barbecue. I'm not saying spicy again. Available at SUCKLEBUSTERS.com through the link in the episode description. Hey, honestly, I was not let down at all by the Chicks That Smoke this weekend. You know, I like to use it here and there with not just brisket, but like fries or just other foods we're making on burgers or whatever. So it's a very versatile seasoning, kind of an AP. It does have a little heat to it, a little spice, but nothing you're really gonna. If you're into seasonings, it's a mild seasoning. But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, it does lend. It has a little bit of that celery in it, and that's what I like about it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, if you're wondering how this weekend went with the cook, it went like that.
Yeah,
Where's Jennifer now?
yeah, Jennifer.
Yeah,
That's funny.
So that happened. Thanks for getting that screenshot. We were live on TikTok, and Matt Messer got that picture for us. There you go, Matt. Thanks a lot, buddy. All
Terry
right.
Brooks wants to know no jingle. No jingle. We haven't got to the jingle yet.
Oh, we need a jingle for what? For Chicks That Smoke?
No. This is for the Succubus. So listen, the jingle's coming up with our barbecue wins, barbecue fails. That's when the jingle happens. There it is.
I think Perry is referencing me asking last week. If you're going to come up with a jingle with for the Chicks That Smoke.
We should. We 100% should.
Oh shit. Okay. No, damn. We screwed that up. We screwed that up.
we screwed that up.
Yeah, way to recover, bro.
We messed that up. Sorry. Dang, man. Listen, this 8% got a hold of me. This blue moon extra right now. This thing is
got you being extra
fire, bro. This thing is great. I mean, let's go. Yes, from the middle. It's Thursday. Okay. It's been a rough week. No, it hasn't been bad at all. It's been great. I've had a great week. Going to work and just really loving what you do. It's really cool. I've not had a bad day since I've made this decision and went to work for a new company, and it's been amazing. So yeah, it's dude, Jan is happy. Jan is super happy right now. So there's that. Cheers. You filthy animals.
There you go. Bottoms up. All right. Again, we got Steven Raichlen coming up in just about 2 minutes.
There it is. Listen, if you got any questions for Steven, please share those. And as they come through, we'll definitely pause and read the question as much as we can and make sure that he understands that people are watching and people want to ask him questions. So
we also did some of them chicken thighs on Johnny and June. Those were killer. Even my 7-year-old daughter was going to town on those things.
She killed them.
Yeah.
I went inside your house and did a little pan sear on a couple. It had crispy skin already, but I did a little bit of garlic and red pepper, and then just kind of seared on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of add a little extra. A little butter, right?
Oomph.
So a little that smokiness, little pop. It was so good.
Well, one thing that I can attest to, that there is no substitute when it comes to a real wood fired smoker and a real wood fired meat. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we love using the pellet grills and stuff like that. Very convenient, but there is no substitute for cooking over live coals. There's no substitute with smoking meats in an offset that has that stick burning offset smoker. So we'll definitely have to get to Steven's thoughts on his preferred methods and stuff like that. I think we might have Steven in the waiting room right now.
There it is.
How are we doing, Steven?
Doing great. How about yourselves?
Doing quite well. Thank you for being on the Grab and Brisket show. How are you been, bud?
I have been great. I'm down here in sunny Miami. The weather has been beautiful. It's been great sailing weather, and I'm an avid sailor. And this is a super exciting night because my new book, Project Griddle, just came out. Yesterday was the official pub date, and you guys are the first official press interview I've done.
Let's go,
man. Oh,
That's
man.
what I'm talking
About that.
I love that. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
I love it when a plane comes
Of
together.
course.
Hell yeah. So, Steven, I don't know if you caught any of our episodes or not. This is a barbecue. We do sip on the libations on the episode. We have so today we have a Blue Moon extra, the Belgian white, with an orange little spritz inside. So I just want to say cheers to you. Thank you so much for just coming on the episode, and yeah, appreciate it, man.
And I have pure white rum with mint leaves in it. So
There it is.
I'll
Okay.
see how far that gets me.
Let's go, dude.
Love this guy.
No, man. Yeah, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, no, I mean it's we always like to start off with the just kind of how the origin story with you, Steven. How did you start this barbecue journey that you've been on?
It's an amazing journey.
Exactly.
Well, I got a degree in French literature and I took a wrong turn. No, seriously, I have a degree in French literature. After college, I won a Thomas J. Watson Foundation fellowship to study, of all things, medieval cooking in Europe.
Mhm.
So I kind of spent half my time in libraries studying medieval manuscripts, and the other half the time at a modern French cooking school, Cordon Bleu and La Varenne, learning how to cook. And at that moment, I kind of decided I wanted my life's work to be the intersection of food and history and culture. And in a way, I've been doing it ever since. Now, barbecue came, relatively late in my career. I'd been a restaurant critic, a wine columnist for GQ magazine, health food evangelist. My first barbecue book was actually about my 20th book, The Barbecue Bible. But the way that happened, it was one of those crazy things. I remember where I was sitting, what I was wearing, what the weather was like. It was like time slowed down. And I heard this voice, and this voice said, "Follow the fire." And maybe it was a little less biblical than that, but the idea was that people grill differently in every country and culture. Wouldn't it be cool to travel around the world and document different grilling styles and techniques?
Mm-hmm.
And that book became the Barbecue Bible. I dashed off a book proposal to my publisher in New York. They dashed off a contract a week later. I think that they got the better end of the deal than I did. And I started traveling. And originally I thought Barbecue Bible was going to be a simple, 50 recipes, 100 pages, knock it out in a year. Wound up being a 4-year project, grew to over 500 recipes. So far to date, I have visited 75 countries on 6 continents in my quest to understand, not to find the perfect barbecue, because there is no perfect barbecue. Every country and culture has amazing grilling, but rather to sort of understand what unites us, which is this thrill of being around the fire, the mesmerizing flames, the incredible flavors you get with fire-cooked food, and what makes us different. Why Argentinians just season with salt, and why in Thailand or in Indonesia, a marinade might have 12 ingredients in it.
That's right.
So that, in a nutshell, is my origin story.
Nice. Hey,
Now,
that's unbelievable.
Is there something that you've come across or encountered throughout your travels that you're talking about? Like, okay, that there are a lot of differences throughout the cultures that you've experienced. Is there one thing that kind of is the same all throughout?
Well, I think, there are many things on different levels. So on the most primal level, the fact that when you light a grill and you cook on it, people gather around it. Okay. It's a real social activity. And that is true whether you're cooking satays in Malaysia, or whether you're doing churrasco in Brazil, or you're smoking a brisket in Texas. Okay. So that's one commonality. I think a second commonality is the concept of layering flavors, right? Because in Asia, it tends to be more marinades. In North America, we tend to use more rubs. Even in Argentina, where they're cooking so simply, they're still layering the flavors in terms of the salt as a basis, and then the wood smoke that comes up from the wood fire, then the chimichurri sauce. So that's a second kind of constant on the world's barbecue trail. Another thing, for me, Project Griddle, my new book, is a departure. And I don't want any of your listeners to think that I've given up live fire,
No.
but I haven't. But griddling, that is cooking on a slab of hot metal, is another universal around the world. And in Japan, you find the teppan, which is epitomized by a restaurant like Benihana, where the the cooking surface is both the cooking surface and the table where you eat. And in Spain, they have the plancha, and all the tapas, all the great seafood in Spain is done on a plancha. In fact, the legendary Spanish super chef and humanitarian Jose Andres, well, he got his start cooking on a plancha, cooking seafood at sort of a fish restaurant on the coast. So kind of the equivalent of being a short order cook in the United States.
Right.
Now, speaking of the United States, I mean, the third great griddle culture is the greasy spoon, the diner, the breakfast joint, griddling in the United States, which is absolutely essential, not only to our gastronomy and our cuisine, but to our soul. I mean, it's part of who we are.
I could not agree more. I couldn't agree more. We, James and I, grew up in a grandmother owned a gas station and diner, and so we grew up cooking inside of there. And how versatile a griddle is yes, great. You can make great burgers and great breakfast and whatever else, but it's a great warming pot, at an area as well. So like when you're working on a soup or a stew or gravies or anything else, throwing it on top, you don't necessarily have to have the burner just high heat or medium heat or whatever else. It's a great area to keep something going while you're doing other things on it. So my earliest memories as being just a young guy or young kid was, maybe 5-6 years old, standing on milk crates, flipping burgers for the restaurant. So the griddle has always played a big part in our lives. We still have that griddle today, the same one. It was built sometime in the 30s.
Cool.
And yeah, it's truly, every once in a while we throw it on, we cook something, and everybody says like the burgers taste so much better off of this,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe the story helps,
The story the story definitely helps, and that's a wonderful story. I think the point is that griddles and grills, they're not competitors, they're complementary.
That's right.
But think about it, like you can't make fried rice on a grill, right?
Yeah.
You can't cook a really fragile fish like flounder or sole on a grill.
Yep.
You can't cook an A5 Wagyu steak on a grill, right? Because all that melting fat will you'll get a flame. So
I just came back from Japan and I had some of the best A5 Wagyu steaks. I've had the best steak of my life in Japan. It was amazing.
It's pretty unbelievable, but I bet it was cooked on a griddle, not on a grill.
You're
right?
exactly right.
So, yeah. And, for me, it's funny, like the way I got into griddling, well, it was an A5 steak. That was because I also had been to Japan. Actually, I was born in Japan. I didn't eat A5 as a baby, but I remember my first A5 Wagyu in Tokyo, cooked on a griddle. And, it was extraordinary. But what I would do is I had a portable griddle, and I'd put it on my Weber kettle grill. And then I'd cook shrimp or whatever, or delicate fish. And I'd throw wood chunks on the coals. So I'd be like smoke griddling at the same time. And one of the secrets, I come up with a lot of techniques in this book, but one of the secrets is I have figured out 2 ways to smoke on a griddle. So I actually have a recipe for barbecue chicken with Alabama white sauce smoked on the griddle.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Damn. Yeah. I cannot wait to get the book. Definitely going to go home tonight and place the order. So this is, I know for us, like I said before, it definitely holds a place in our heart. Yeah, that's badass.
It's something that we've seen social media wise over the last year and a half, 2 years, where cooking on a griddle has just exploded all over the internet. And there's a lot of influencers and people out there that showing you how you can cook on it, how you can, and it honestly, it's like the versatility and the ease of using it. It is just, it's making it just people are gravitating towards that than going to like a pellet smoker. You know what I mean? It's something, it's like I can make breakfast in the morning on this. In the evening, I'm making, fajitas or
fried rice or whatever.
Fried rice.
Lunch. Yeah. I mean, it's also big, right? I mean, a griddle is, think about a 22.5-inch Weber kettle or a 36-inch griddle. You can cook a lot more food on a griddle. And, also, and I know this is definitely not true for your audience, but some people kind of are intimidated by live fire with a grill. Well, on a griddle, there's, you don't get flare-ups, you don't get smoke outs. Like I said, and I mean, tonight, perfect example. I had my Weber kettle growing. I was cooking some poussin, some baby chickens with a thyme marinade, had my griddle going to do the potatoes. So everybody's happy. By the way, I'm looking at your message board here, and I'm seeing something from Matthew Messer. I used Steven's recipe for a bacon bourbon apple crisp in a cast iron skillet, but that's done in a smoker, and that's one of my favorite recipes, Matthew. So thank you for reminding me of it.
So Matt Messer is he's a barbecue barbecue pit manufacturer, a builder.
Okay.
I mean, but builder, and he builds or started with the it's the
Cotton gin drum smokers.
That's right, the cotton gin drums, and so he is a live fire cook, and
but he's
amazing,
got that
amazing
tribal fire grill, which is it's a griddle. I don't know if you've seen that thing. That thing is amazing. I'd love to see what you could do with one of those things.
I know it. It's a griddle that is fueled by charcoal, and so you can add wood chunks into it, and you get that smokiness that comes up through. You can put a lid on top to kind of seal in what's going on. But
and it's called a tribal fire grill.
That's right.
I'm gonna check it out. That's amazing.
It is really, really cool.
Cool.
Super versatile. All kinds of attachments. I think they got one now. It's got a Santa Maria grill you can add to the top of it. It's pretty something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who else we got here? We've got Chris Lee, Allison. I love the smoker, but the Blackstone is very versatile. Use it more often. Yeah. That's the thing is, for us getting outside, moving into a neighborhood where you've got a lot of neighbors and you meet people, and a lot of our neighbors, when we met them, they weren't big grillers. They weren't big guys that went out and we're smoking any meats or anything else. And James here was very pivotal in getting his neighbors involved with going around and saying, he'd pull out a big barbecue pit and start smoking some brisket, or he'd pull out the Weber and start doing this, pull out the griddle, and we make 30, 40 hamburgers a night or whatever else. But just hanging out. But that's the one thing I think with the griddle cooking is, cooking bacon inside your house. It just smells. And I like the smell of bacon, but I don't like the smell of bacon all day in my house.
Right.
So being able to go outside and have that break to where you're kind of with nature a little bit, and you're firing up the griddle or you're firing up the grill, that's my peace. I love it. I just, that's where I want to be.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because, a lot of people, if you don't already own a griddle, you probably buy a griddle. And that's a great way to season your griddle. When you get the griddle, you wash it off with soap, scrub it off with soapy water. It's the last time you're ever going to use soap on a griddle. And then the first food you cook on it, I recommend either bacon or sausage, because you want to get that fat on it. You want to get the fat polymerized on the surface, so that it becomes a non-stick surface.
Yep.
Cool.
No, could not agree more.
Now, I have not got my hands. So is Project Griddle, is it available to purchase now?
It just, as of yesterday. Yesterday was the official pub date. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, I hope bookstores everywhere, or on my website, which is barbecuebible.com.
Okay. So I have not got my hands on it yet. I will get my hands on it. But do you have a favorite recipe or a favorite tip or trick utilizing the griddle?
Yes to all of those questions.
Okay.
So first of all, my favorite recipe, probably the recipe on the cover. Let's see if you can see that. It's called tapas bar shrimp, and it combines two classic Spanish tapas, griddled shrimp and griddled padron peppers. And the flavorings are smoked paprika, there's garlic, there's a splash of sherry. You can flambe it with brandy. And it's a super dish. It takes all of about 10 minutes to make. Super colorful. So that's my favorite dish. In terms of lunch, another dish I really love that you may not have heard of, it's called piadina, and it's the Italian version of a quesadilla. White flour tortilla on the bottom, and then it's filled with melting Italian cheese, mortadella, and you You use another technique, which I really like. It's called the divide and conquer method, where so you're building it. You've got your tortilla here, your cheese, then your mortadella on top. Then you put a piece of parchment paper on top of that. You put it upside down on the griddle, and you cook the mortadella until it gets brown and crispy and sizzling. Then you turn it over. You cook the bottom, the tortilla part. And then finally, right at the end, a big handful of arugula. So you've got kind of hot and fat and meaty and cheesy, and then crunchy, fresh arugula on top. And that's another of my favorite dishes. And that's a very useful technique, that divide and conquer. Like, let's say you want to make a Cubano sandwich, or a muffaletta. Well, those are honking big sandwiches. If you try and griddle them, you're going to be there all day and they're not going to get heated. But if you split the sandwich in half, and you cook both halves, meat side down first with parchment paper, then bread side down. Then you put them together. You can make a very thick, substantial sandwich that's cooked all the way through.
My mind's getting blown a little bit because
that's awesome.
Obviously you were talking about earlier, you don't want to dump it down onto the griddle itself, because the cheese is actually, I mean, it's going to do what the cheese is going to do what it does.
Yeah.
But now you're trying to like scrape it up to flip it back over. But no, now you got the parchment paper that just allows that little barrier for you to flip back over, and everything is beautiful and crispy and ready to eat. That's awesome.
There you go. But mentioning cheese directly on the griddle, because you can do that as well. Yeah. And I have a chapter on Spanish tapas. And one is you take Manchego cheese and you grate it, and you cook it directly, a little mound of the grated cheese directly on the griddle. And if you get the timing right, it cooks down into a wafer. You flip it over, you brown the other side. You put it on a wire rack and let it cool. And then what you wind up with is a cheese crisp. And the cheese crisp is like, it's really incredible. So
talking about, that's where I live. I live for the cheese crisp.
Have you ever done a burger with the cheese skirt on it where it just crisps? Oh, that's where the money is right there.
I know. And it's weird because I like the cheese crisp. There's a flavor there, and it changes the flavor profile for cheese.
That's right. You caramelize the casein, the milk proteins in the cheese.
Yep.
A little bit like the same principle that they use to make dulce de leche, only it's in a savory manner. But I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I really love it. Really love it.
Cool.
So, what else you got going on?
Well, boy, let's think. So, actually, project number 1. I'm starting a new book. It's a memoir. And you guys will be the first to hear about it, but sort of how a guy with a degree in French literature came to be, the world barbecue king, and write about
biography
barbecue all over the world. And so that'll be out next year sometime, but I've only written 3 chapters, so I got a ways to go on that. I'm working on a documentary on the history of barbecue, which should be pretty interesting. And then, of course, we have Barbecue University coming up. That's my school in Solvang, California, at the Alisal Ranch, the beautiful Alisal Ranch. Nice. That's coming up right after Labor Day. So getting ready for that, working on the menus. And between those things, I maybe manage to sleep 5 or 6 hours a night.
Damn.
On a good night.
Yeah. Hey, how is it different for you to write about your, obviously you've wrote about your life and everything else, but is it different to take that different approach right now, saying, a guy that got into French literature that has transitioned into a world renowned, or a guy that's traveled the world and got into barbecue? Is it a different approach for you?
Oh, it's totally different. And on one level, writing cookbooks after 34 of them, that's easy for me, right? I writing recipes and cookbooks. So this is challenging because it's writing prose. Yeah. And on one level, it's easy because it's my life. I'm not doing research, although I am doing research because, Lord knows I don't remember what I was doing in Paris, 40 years ago. Yeah. Exactly. So I got to research that. On another level, to make it an interesting story, in literature, they talk kind of about the arc of the story. So you let the arrow fly here, it goes up like that. And then while you're reading the chapter, you're sort of wondering where the arrow is. And you want to make sure at the end of the story, it comes down and it lands in a satisfying place. So So that I think will be, I'm conscious of that in writing, and with each chapter I'm trying to think, so, what's the arc of the story? What's a really interesting lead? How do I get to say what I want to say, keep it interesting, and then take the reader someplace different at the end of the story.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
But,
One of the things
let's talk on October 15th when the book is due, and then I can tell you, how easy or how hard it was.
Yeah, no kidding. You're gonna have all your hair out. You're like, it was so hard. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, one of the things I always enjoyed about you, Steven, and watching over the years was your ability to forward think and talk about the upcoming barbecue trends that we would see over the years, and obviously with the Project Griddle coming up on the horizon for you, or now presently, what do you see with 2025?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I do think griddling is going to be very big. And what happened, I told you about my A5 Wagyu experience and then kind of working with seafood on the griddle. But 2 years ago, Weber and Traeger, both within a couple months, came out with big stand-up griddles, joining Blackstone. And that was the light bulb moment for me. And I said, wait a minute, if the two biggest two giant grill companies are doing stand-up griddles, that is going to be a trend. So what do I see now for this year? Well, I mean, actually, interestingly, I think budget grilling is going to be a big thing as these tariffs kick in, and as food gets more expensive and everything gets more expensive. Grills are certainly going to get more expensive if they're manufactured in China, and most of them are. So I think we're going to become kind of budget minded. That'll be one piece of it. I think there's been a national sort of turning in America. We used to be very expansive, very open to other cultures, and the people at top now sort of want to make it America, America, America. So I think it's time maybe to take a fresh look at regional American cooking. Maybe some of the regions we don't normally think of, like upstate New York, with Speedies, or down in my way in Florida with some of our Caribbean cooking. Or, Alabama, the barbecue chicken with white sauce. I mean, that's Americana, but until recently, most people had never heard of it.
Yeah, that's the beauty about the social media. I think that is allowed over the last 15 years or so that it has really just come on. I mean, you go online, you want to know how to do something, you don't know how to do it, you can go to YouTube. If you want to do a short form, or you want to go somewhere else, you can go to a TikTok version or Instagram version or anything else, and you can learn it in 30 seconds, potentially, right? You can see the gist of something, but
you get the gist of it. Yeah.
Yep. But I think that's where cooking has come so far in the last 15 years, is that more people are apt to show exactly what they're doing, their styles of cooking, but you're seeing a regional, you're seeing something overseas. And it's a way to connect to where we've never been able to do that before. It's like, in order to get French cuisine, you either had to go to a French restaurant that you thought was a French
restaurant. Like me, right after college, I went to France. I lived in France for 2 years to learn.
That's right. Cooking. Or go there, right?
Right. And today on Instagram, you get it in 5 seconds.
You do, but and there's a beauty to that, because if it wasn't there, you're relying on a local restaurant that you can go to here, unless you're going to travel. But you're relying on a local restaurant to go, is this what it is, right? Because it only is because that's what you think of it is, right? If that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of the social media stuff, because you're seeing other cultures, other people that are coming together, and they're like, this is how we do this. This is how we make this. This is how this is done. And I don't know. There's a whole connection there that through food, I think that is just, well, it's made me hungry for one, but I think that it's just brought, it's almost a full circle a little bit. We've been able to close the gap a little bit more on being able to relate to somebody that's out of our, I guess, region,
Absolutely. And the other thing that's really amazing, so I'm good buddies with David Olson of Live Fire Republic.
Yep.
Now, when I made my shows, I had a crew of 20. It took 20 people, took 5 camera guys. It took a field chef, 2 food stylists, runners, everything to make the show. Today, David does these incredible videos, one guy with an iPhone. And so it has made cooking TV, cooking media much more democratic. Everybody can do it, and people do it well. And it's made the spread of ideas super well. Now, I will add one little cautionary note, and that is that there's something to be said for authority. And I have young people in my family who, when they want to find a recipe, they just go on the internet and look for a recipe. Well, you know, some people like me, all of my recipes get tested 3 and 4 times. Some recipes on the internet, you know, somebody's just writing a recipe, has no idea whether it works or not. So you kind of have to find people that you can trust and have faith in. Not every recipe on the internet is great.
No,
True.
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to figure out which ones are full of it.
Yeah.
Right. Test their recipes. You mentioned budget-friendly cooking maybe get more popular. You think there's any specific maybe budget-friendly cuts of meat that we should be looking out for this year?
Well, I'll tell you one, and it's one of my absolute favorites. And if you come from St. Louis, you probably have some in your fridge. And if you don't, you probably never heard of it. But a pork shoulder steak. So you take a pork shoulder, ask your butcher to cut it into steaks, let's say a 1/2 inch thick. That is a fabulous steak. First of all, the meat is intrinsically tender, super well marbled. It grills up beautifully. It takes flavor beautifully. It cooks in, 5 minutes as opposed to a pork shoulder that takes the better part of 5 or 6 hours anyway. And I think you're going to start seeing more and more of it. To date, there are only 2 regions where it's traditional, and one is St. Louis, and the other is Monroe County, Kentucky. Where they cook they'll grill the steaks over a hickory wood fire, and then they dip it in this fiery amalgam of melted butter, melted lard, hot sauce, and cayenne pepper. And they grill it, dip it, grill it, dip it, and that's really fantastic. And you'll find that recipe in my book, Project Fire, and I think we also have that on the website, barbecuebible.com.
That sounds amazing. So when you're doing these pork steaks, are you doing them more like a pork chop, or you're pulling them like
pork chop?
45? Okay,
doing them like a pork chop.
Okay.
Because that's the thing about pork shoulder that it's sometimes a little misunderstood. A lot of people think of pork shoulder like brisket, which you have to cook forever, low and slow, and that produces a great pork shoulder. But the meat in a pork shoulder is intrinsically tender, so you can cook it very quickly. Yep. Somebody said pork ribeyes, yeah, and they're really good. Absolutely, yeah, cool.
Yeah, like so opposed to like the pork butt would take a little bit longer to reach that optimal temperature, or
if you're talking about like a whole Boston butt, which is a pork shoulder. By the way, interesting little historical note. You know why it's called a Boston butt?
I feel like
because back in colonial times, a butt was a word for a barrel, and they would take pork shoulders, salt them, and put them in these barrels. And so that became a Boston butt. But anyway, get your butcher, to cut it crosswise into steaks, finger thick, grill it, and then send me a little email or, to Steven Raichlen on Instagram, whatever. Love to hear from you. I think you will find it a revelation. We
love it, man. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love it. Well, hey, listen, before we cut out here, can we get you to plug just one more time where they can get the books, where they
Project
can look at
Griddle.
The website, just anything else you got going on?
Absolutely. Okay, so my website is barbecuebible.com, and if you haven't already, sign up for my Up and Smoke newsletter. It's free, and recipes, trends, restaurant reviews, whatever strikes my fancy that particular week is what you read. If you want to follow me on social media, it's simply at Steven Raichlen. Most active on Instagram and Facebook. And the new book, it's called Project Griddle, and it should be available, on any online store, my website. I hope it's at, Barnes and Nobles and independent bookstores everywhere. And if you happen to see one on the bookshelf that's facing kind of like this, do your friend Steven Raichlen a favor and face it out like that.
I love it.
Guys, you're great, man. I love your show. It's really it's very energetic and you learn a lot. So thank you very much.
Well,
We
Steven,
appreciate it,
thank you
Steven.
so much. Cheers to you.
Grill on.
Grill on.
Here's you guys. Well,
Cheers,
I
brother.
made pretty good progress on that.
There it is. Not bad. Not bad.
All right, take care, bud.
Have
Yeah.
a great night, sir.
Good night.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you guys want to get this book, we're going to have a link down below for you, or you could go to Amazon right now and just look up Project Griddle. It's going to pop up.
Mhm.
But yeah, we will have a link for you to find that. Man.
There's so many questions that like honestly, like I've watched this guy when he was on PBS
Yeah.
and watching him doing the live fire, and this is probably roughly around the time that I was getting into doing barbecue and smoking and stuff like that. And so picking up little tips and tricks and stuff that he was able to show us on his shows and his book, The Barbecue Bible. Definitely going to pick up a copy of the Project Griddle, but man, had a lot of questions. It's very kind of hard because we could probably have this guy on here for, I don't know, like 2 hours. Maybe we need to get him in the studio and just straight up 2 hours, just start asking like
Hey,
all the questions. Or
Give
whatever.
us the answers.
Look,
You're not leaving until you do.
one of the things I was like, we didn't get into. I'm very interested in AI and how AI technology is going to play a role in
gonna hurt
the barbecue aspect of it, the grills,
It's gonna hurt it.
the convenience of stuff. So, you know what I mean? So I'm very interested in that aspect moving forward. So we got to get Steven back on again.
Yeah, I mean, AI barbecue to me is nothing but a computer trying to run a bunch of ones and zeros to figure out, yeah, this would be optimal, but it's only optimal because people have fed it information,
Mhm.
right? I just don't see that being a great source of going, this is the best barbecue, or this is how you should do this, or whatever. That's trial and error, and that's going out and being able to taste it, which is something a computer could never do. I just don't see that being a thing, to be honest with you.
But you got to be a big proponent of just keeping up with the traditions and getting outdoors and cooking and gathering your family and your community and everybody together and enjoying that time, because you don't really get it if an AI grill is just like, here, cook a brisket.
Yeah, great. Hey,
Great.
my
I'll see you tomorrow.
I was out on the lawn chair. My AI grill went out and
Right.
smoked the brisket for me. Hey, you should check it out.
Yeah, your
No,
kids come by.
you
You're like,
missed-
beat it.
Yeah, listen, your worst father of the year is what you are, right? It's drink a beer, smoke the meat, add a marinade. That's what you should be doing, and then talking a little smack, and then burning something, right? You don't want something to be perfect every single time.
Or
anyways.
craft cocktail like Steven was
I know. Well, he
floating
just
out
said
there.
rum, white rum
with mint. Craft.
with mint. Yeah,
That's craft.
done. Hey,
Mm.
Love it.
we're fancy now.
Speaking of cocktails, do we want to
Smoking-
get into the
Smoking my rum next week.
the grabbing the brisket beer review?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
this.
let's read this comment real quick. What do we got,
Okay.
Raul?
He said he's experimented by asking AI innovative recipes, and it throws out some wild shit.
Really?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So our taste
All right.
buds just aren't there yet. Maybe
Right.
that's what it is.
We're getting there. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
beer-
I'm
this
saying my
beer a
taste
little
bud,
Yeah.
hey, my taste bud.
Right. Have you had those non-binary 10111 It's so good. If you
Ugh.
marinate that with the yeah. You know where
Yeah,
I'm
the
going with that.
000111000. And
bit. What is happening?
yeah, listen,
All right.
hey, the beer.
This is good,
Uh,
man. This is good.
Let me tell you what I've done. I just drank the whole thing. It was amazing. 8%er. The first drink was like, okay, great. The second drink, great. Normally I would ask for a third drink right now, or fourth drink, or fifth drink, but I drank the whole thing, and I've got to score this thing. My ears a little tingly, a little warm,
Hmm.
so that's good.
Yeah, my head's warm too.
I'm gonna say that's a 9-1.
9-1.
9-1.
that.
I like Blue Moons anyways, but this Blue Moon's on steroids,
Yeah.
and bro,
This
it's
is better
good.
than a regular Blue Moon.
It set it
Yeah,
off for
it
me,
is.
man.
It is.
Yeah.
Set it off. Is it set it off or step it up or what was that?
Whatever
like,
you want it to be.
That movie where all the kids
Shake It
got
Off?
together and did the dance thing.
Yeah, shake it
No,
off.
shake it
that's
off.
not Set It Off. That's the bank robbery movie.
Okay, there it is.
All right, but this is good. It's super citrusy, orangey. It's got a nice little bite to it, but it's absolutely delicious. I'm gonna go 8.7.
8.7. That's a high score. Listen, these Belgium White, this Blue Moon, 8% alcohol by volume. It came in a 16-ounce can. Let's go.
Nothing to hate about that.
Let's go.
Okay,
man. This
let
thing
me
is
jump in there and just get my
delightful.
score. Small little correction. It is a 19.2
Okay.
ounce can.
19.2
So
ounce.
Get your
you're
shit
robbed
together,
yourself
Jen.
a couple of
Jeez.
ounces here,
This
but
is
this is a
fucking Belgium
solid beer.
screwing it up.
And if you throw a little orange in there, I'm not saying you got to saturate it. You got to like just throw in it. But also another little trick. If you've ever heard the term brass monkey when it comes to
That funky monkey.
Beastie Boys.
Basically a brass monkey is a drink where it is that they would get like a 40-ounce beer and they would drink down the neck and the rest would just go in with orange juice. And that's a brass monkey. Or it is like a what would you say
It's a redneck blue moon.
white trash beer mosa, white trash mimosa or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Beer mosa.
Beer mosa.
It's a beer mosa.
This right here is what they got the idea from. This is solid. I don't know how you scored this an 8. Jan had a really good score as far as in the 9s. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go probably a 9.7 on this thing.
Damn, James, you're cooking. James is cooking, guys. That's great.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we got for the grabbing a brisket.
Beer review. There it is. Hey, I just want really quick. I just want to say thank you, Steven Raichlen, for coming on the show today. Truly an honor. Yeah, you know, obviously the guy's been around for a long time. He's made his career out of this.
Books.
Yeah, he's made his career out of this, and
Multiple James Beard Award winning.
Hey, also, listen, hear us out really quick. We also have a James Beard Award that we're going to be doing. James, can you pass it, James?
James's Beard. We're going to call it the James's Beard Award.
Yeah, we're going to do James's Beard Award, and we're going to put something out there, and it's going to be for our best guests that come on each and every year. We're going to select 2 winners for this, and you're going to get James's Beard Award.
I don't know. Raul might get one for best producer. He might get the James's Beard Award for best producer.
No, we don't know that though. We don't know that.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's no inside shit happening right now.
Still early.
But James's Beard Award is
Blue
happening.
Moon is fixing to get a James's Beard Award for this excellent crafted brew.
Yeah, James's Beard Award.
Right,
So
hey, we got a barbecue win, barbecue fail. Can we jump into that real
let's do
quick? Okay. This is one that I was going to share last week, but y'all didn't share one the week before. So
Just
this
just
is
stop.
just a carryover.
We're talking about last
if
week
you
all the
will.
time.
This is from
Jesus.
Ken Wood. Oh, the 8%ers kicking in. Let me see if I can get through this.
Let's go.
Fail
Can we do
to
it?
success. No, I already started. So
Fail to success.
we had a smoker issue and our chicken was green. My partner was tossing the chicken in the trash. I grabbed the chicken just before he dumped it in the trash. I used every bottle of sauce I could find and we turned the chicken in and it still had a green color. We got 3rd place call on chicken. Learned, let the judges make the call on your product.
There it is.
The green colored chicken.
Mhm.
There it is.
That
Green
is-
eggs and ham, green chicken, and
That's not good,
calls.
guys. I mean, was that chicken okay to serve?
it was tasty apparently.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. Ken Wood, you did your damn thing.
Yeah, Ken, listen, you shot your shot. You did what you had to do. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get in our own heads a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think Ken rocks a pair of Kenwood speakers?
What is wrong with you?
Ken does not do that.
I think
Ken-
Ken Wood is like his porn name. Wouldn't it be? Yeah, like, hey, I'm Ken Wood.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
Hey.
you, Raul?
It's all pine, bitch. Yeah. Hey, listen, Ken, thank you so much for sharing. Because let me tell you, what happens here is that we're always looking at this. We're trying to get better as a barbecue competitor. We're trying to know what to do, what not to do. And guess what, buddy? You're a winner chicken dinner. That's right. SUCKLEBUSTERS. Everybody wants on SUCKLEBUSTERS. Ken, go out to let us know what flavor SUCKLEBUSTERS seasonings you want. You know, we have our favorites. And if you're a fan of the show, which I know you are, you already know. But go pick one out and we'll send it to you and try it out.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you, buddy. Again, if we're not failing, we're not winning. So thanks, bud.
Yeah. Like Johnny Mag says, just put it in the box.
Just put it in a box.
Put it in the box.
Just
Send
put it in a box.
All right. Well, that's the end of my paperwork here. That's all I got. We
There
have
it is.
87 pages. I just
We
reached the
ran
last one.
To the very last
Yep. I'm on
page.
the index. So
Our preparation is done and over
Mhm.
with.
mhm.
Guys, what an awesome episode. Steven Raichlen, go out there and jump on his website and check out the Project Griddle. I'm sure there's going to be tons of tips and tricks and recipes. The ones he just listed on the show sounded pretty badass, and it sounded very easy to put together. So run and get that Project Griddle. And as always, it's been great talking barbecue with you.
Peace.
Let's go.
As we close out, big thanks to SmokerBuilder.com and the NBBQA for their unwavering support.
Absolutely. And cheers to Barbecue News Magazine, SUCKLEBUSTERS, and Dow Strong Knives for their contributions.
And you know Yeti always has our back, and Cooling Nation ensures our drinks stay perfectly cold.
Lastly, props to Cambro Manufacturing and, of course, the Spicy Nut, the Chicks of Smoke Seasoning. Thanks to all for powering this show.
Until next time, keep smoking.